Welcome back to Meadow Creek Farm. Meadow Creek Ranch. We are making a lot of headway. We are in this bottom corner of the property, and in about 3 days we've gotten a good 70 yards, no, about 100 yards, 110 yards cleared out, and it was very rough. But there's a corner there where we're going to put a corner brace. Now all these are going to be treated. I'm leaving these because we're going to treat these with crossbow diesel herbicide mixture, and but man, we are coming along. So you can now see all the way down there, and then we can see all the way down here. Quick little update, show you what it looks like. All this is gonna get burned. So my idea is that since I don't have a tractor or grapples yet, I'm just gonna make piles, and when I get one or rent one, I'm just gonna rent it and move them all in one big pile and burn them later on this year, maybe in the fall, maybe the winter. I don't know, but I can't keep stopping and burning or chipping, so we're just gonna make this accessible. Call that ground a loss at the specific spots where the piles are. And then the idea is that we'll have grass growing around them by the time I get to move them. I'm gonna move the piles, and that grass will help encroach. I'll just have a small area to work with or to cover with soil, or I'm sorry, with hay. So yeah, you can walk through any of this. All this here looked like this. I even raked it too. It looked like that. It was so bad. It was so bad. But we're getting it, with a chainsaw and some loppers and bolt cutters, or small wire cutters and bolt cutters to get the thicker gauge fence wire and the normal wire cutters for smaller gauge. It's not quick work. I mean, it's not easy work, but it's honest work, and it can be done. So if you don't have anything to do it yourself with, or except for you, if you just have you and nothing else, don't be discouraged. You know what? Honestly, it's okay to be a little discouraged because it's a lot of work, and you can look at it and think of it as daunting. But really, guys, I had this here. Man, it was so bad. When they marked the property, that poor guy, I had the cordless hedge trimmer just to get in here for him to crawl in and try to smash that in. It was so bad. It came out to about here. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 paces. 4 paces away, he couldn't even get in. You can see where the grass slowly had died, and then this is where it was able to thrive again. So that stuff came past this and was hanging over. Kind of like how this is hanging over right here. That's how it was hanging over here. Very, 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 very thick. So all this here, all this was from just to that, let's see, 1, 2, that third one, that third yellow was all this. And that bit over there was from that third yellow to the fourth yellow. And then from there it cleared up. And then we just had some few and far between with a bunch of, well, not few and far between, it was more like this now. Like that. You could walk through it, but just painfully. That one you couldn't walk through at all. It'd be a death sentence. It'd be, death by 1,000 cuts. But it can be done. It can be done. So we helped the neighbor out. We didn't need to go on this side, but to clear it out to help us with our vegetation load, growing on the fence and helping him clear it out so it looks nice for him. Because it's the right thing to do. And maybe he'll let us lease this part here, this little piece, which we honestly thought was part of the property when we bought it because that fence was there. I think legally you could try to make an argument for it because it's been there for, decades. So, but we're not going to do that. Not the way we roll here at Meadow Creek Ranch. So we're going to see if we can lease this out, maybe even buy it. I don't know. But he said we could use it as much as we need, as long as we fence it off, of course, and then I might put a gate into it. So yeah, that's where we're at, folks. We're getting there. So this is other than that main part way up front that's covered by about 4,000 sweet gum trees that are all 3 to 6 inches wide. There's thousands in there in that one little acre paddock. It's just crazy. Other than that, this is the second to last run. And the part up there where all the sweet gums are, that's probably 120 yards wide. But man, this, you can see, look how many, all these. I had to leave that there for the line so I knew where it was at. But these are actually really thin. It was more like that. These guys, But in here is a lot of shade. So I think I'm going to leave this here for now, these trees like this, and use it for a windbreak. I'll leave those maybe bring them up a little bit so animals can walk through them. So maybe waist height. So right around there is waist height. Hard to tell with the camera, but that way animals can walk underneath it and cows can walk by and scratch their backs on it and stuff. But that way it has some kind of windbreak and there's somewhere for the animals to get underneath. But because just the topography and the mature forest next to it, this is going to be a very shady area. So I'm thinking if I can get all these leaves up, all these needles get most of them up after I get rid of all this stuff, of course. Put some hay down, put some lime down, some seed and stuff. The animals will be hanging here and chilling out, and because it has shade, they'll be pooping, peeing when they come through and we do our moves, and we'll have them feed here. We'll just throw some hay down to help give more carbon to the soil. And because it's in the shade, it will stay moist longer, and hopefully with that lime able to jumpstart and raise that pH back to more alkaline, 6.5, 7 over time, over the next year or so. This will become a very good spot. And though fescue likes to be in the sun, if you always look, it always says they want full sun. If you always look right on the shady edge of fescue, that's always the best looking fescue. Maybe not the sweetest, but from a lawn guy, previous lawn guy, it was definitely the darkest and the most luscious looking. But yeah, but we'll get that. And then eventually, if the neighbor allows us to use this and he lets me, I'll clear this out a little bit, a few of these, or maybe just one or two of these, just to create more space and more light. But again, all this will be gone. All this junk here, that cedar will stay. I don't know what the heck that is. I don't know. Oh, it's one of those black cherries, I think, with all that fungus on it. But those will go, and that somehow that guy survived. He's going today. But all these autumn olives are going to be gone, and then these American holly once they get that crossbow diesel from the house. So, but we were there. So let's see, three hours. So we're at 9 hours in. So a full day's work over the course of 3 days, 3 hours a day. No, 8 hours, because yesterday I did 2 hours. Well, 2.5, I guess. So, yep. Now we have another. Gosh, this one's going to be rough because this goes deep in forest, where it's mature forest on one side, older parent forest on the other side. A bunch of this, a bunch of the American holly, a bunch of brambles, a bunch of wild grape, and just nasties. I mean, like just dense and humid and wet, and all around creeks and stuff. And I just want to get that perimeter up. That way I can figure out what I got to do in the future, but I need to be able to hook on something when I run my line across. But as you go down the property, it does narrow. It goes at an angle with that side, eventually to where it's only 15 yards across, because it narrows down like a big pizza, like a really long pizza wedge. So, yeah, buddy. So we'll get this tomorrow. After work, knock all this out, and then I think today, just to motivate myself, I'm gonna start cutting down, or I won't come down. I'm gonna limb up a lot of these limbs here so that I have space and get guys like this, these death traps here, all those thorns, and we'll start knocking everything out. Have this big bush to take out, and I'm not gonna treat those anymore. I'm gonna treat most of them, but some of these I'm not gonna treat. I'm just gonna cut them down as low as I can. So that when they're like this and they start growing back a little bit, give something for the sheep to eat. And then after a year or two, I'll brush hog them, just like Greg Judy does. I'll brush hog them and clear them up. But you have, what is this thing called? It looks almost like an herb, doesn't it? Or like a tomato. It's not. That? I think that's poison ivy. No, it can't be. I don't know what it is, so we're not gonna touch it. Okay, so yeah, this is a lot of stuff that we can. This was me going through with the guys from the surveys, just trying to get through because you couldn't walk. I had already cleared some of this out. But yeah, it starts to get real nasty, very, very, very nasty. And the old fence line there, which you think would have been on the property line, but the surveyor who did our survey said the last survey was probably super lazy and just put the pins where he was able to walk, and that became it. So all this stuff is that invasive Japanese grass that apparently is not palatable for deer. They don't like it and takes over everything like a mat. And there you go, big mat. So hopefully we'll be able to get this out. I'll figure that out. But there's a down tree there. But it starts to get real nasty very quick. It crosses this fence line here in just a second. Yeah, there it goes. It crosses the fence line. It just keeps going. And that's not, oh gosh, it's not gonna be fun at all. I don't know. Goes up the hill over there. Yeah, this is gonna be rough. So this, I think this is the kind of place you want to put pigs or something, just to, you can just tear it all out, their snouts, and root everything up. But this little fence line, so now it's on the fence, it's actually working against us because I have to remove this. It's all folded over. I'm tempted just to, the post is okay. I think I might just do that, depending how, maybe I'll try to clear this out and then bring that fence up and just re-staple it where that staple popped off. Try to hold it back up just for more of a break, but ultimately it may not matter because it crosses the fence line here. So now it's on the other side of the fence there. So look at this. It's just more trash. More trash from the property. The last several owners, or the original OG owners from a long time ago. Just, it's just a shame to see it. But this is how people did it. They just, oh, there's a corner right there. How they just threw stuff away. They just had a low spot and tossed it. Even though, I don't know if it was there at the time, but a mile from here is the county dump site where you can bring your waste and it goes into a big bin and then they haul it off to the landfill. There's a corner here. Maybe it wasn't a corner, maybe it was just part of the fence that collapsed. But some kind of brace. It looked nice though. Actually, it would have been really nice. So yeah, this is all pasture. So a long time ago, this was all pasture here. And I looked at historicaerials.com. Historic aerials, like aerial photography. And you're able to see this was all pasture. It's pretty cool. You can pick the years. And as far as they can go back with either photographs from planes, like government photographs, or satellites, it can go back pretty far. This place goes back to, I think, the 60s or the 50s. So, stuff on barrels. Yeah. It's going right through that guy. Oof. I'm not looking forward to this one. But, whatever. All kinds of stuff. Having a tractor would be nice though. So this is probably going to take me just a week to get to where I'm already at right now. Yeah. This is what Greg Judy says, a rabbit with the packaged lunch to get through. That's what that would be right there. Oh man, bad. And these are all pines. These are all pines, that's a cedar. Those are pines up there. Loblolly, I think. It's a pine here. I think we're gonna have another big pile here. Because this is 15-year-old pine stand. Just volunteer pine stand, I think. There's more of that fence pieces. Maybe it was a gate post. Yeah. Oh, this was a picket fence type of thing. They had electric at one point. It's interesting. There's that post up there with that's a lot of concrete. Wow. Oh my gosh. Look how much concrete. It's all concrete on that one post. Goodness. Yep, this is not gonna be fun. I'm not gonna enjoy this one, but you know what we're doing? We're worshiping with our hands. Just praying to God. Years. Lord, if you want me to have something like this, you grant it to me. I'll worship with the hands and I'll take something that is falling apart and no good and let go and abandon. Bring it back to life. Life glorifies you, you know. And I'm gonna make it. Here's that fence. See, I'm actually coming out a different way. I'm gonna glorify you by making this land produce again, and you know the rocks and the trees cry out. Well, pretty soon the trees will be crying because they're going to be cut down. And there's not a lot of rocks here. But the microbes in the soil and the animals. See, this is all good stuff. It was here. It was here. Fescue and, I don't know, a lot of wild garlic. But, room sedge and whatever else, so. And then we have the interior. So, it sure is pretty. Sure is pretty. All right, I'm gonna let you go. It's been long enough. You can see where we're going. You see where we gotta be to get there. What we gotta do to get there. And again, it can be done. Just little by little, day by day. I drive 50 minutes to get here from work. So 50 minutes to work and back every day, one way. And I only get 2 hours, so 3.5 hours depending on the light. It was a sprint when it was before daylight savings time or the time change. So now we have a little more time, get another hour and doing this and getting home or walking up to the house and a few minutes to eat dinner, then right to bed, shower in bed before I have to wake up at 4:30 to get to work again. So, but it can be done. Not everything is simple and handed to you. Sometimes the problem is given to you with the solution. In life, when you're given a choice where you have two choices to pick, usually pick the harder one. You'll be better on the end of it and you'll be happy you did. So this is the hard choice. So do it right. We're gonna do it right. Okay, y'all have a good one. Stay tuned for more.